So, hello, hello, hello. Thank you and welcome again to Next Level 2 Women Entrepreneur, our 10K Global Women in Business Tour. Every time I get on here, I get so super excited. And that's why I be like, okay, maybe I could calm down. But I'm so super excited because women globally, I mean, women that you think would even be able to work together, coming together on this platform to be able to share their business, their passion, and most of all, be able to connect with you with what they do and to show you sincerely how they want to see you succeed. I am the host, Oluwafunke Fullenwider, known as Sunshine. And the name of the organization is Next Level 2 Women Entrepreneur. We provide speaking platforms for women to expose who they are and what they do. But we don't stop there. We have the book club, we have the networking club, and we also have the opportunity for women to get coaching and training through some of the women and coaches and trainers within the network or organization. So this is a place you can get what you need. Most of all, connect with more and more people. Are you one of those entrepreneurs that say, I want to connect with more people? Well, this is where you need to be. I am super excited about our speaker on today. Her name, well, I've known her for many years, a woman that I love, respect, a woman that is ambitious, and she's determined no matter what life throws at her, she is going to come back very strong and very focused on being able to get to the next level. That being said, her name is Starlin McMullen, and I just want to let you know sincerely from the bottom of my heart, you were with us when the organization first started, before any of this happened, when it was just a dream, and you are still with us now. I want to just take a moment to recognize that because you are one of the speakers that have been through the whole journey. Could you share a little bit about your journey with Next Level, and then we'll go right into your topic.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I don't know if I can see in the chats. I was going to say put a one in the chat if you can hear me okay. Y'all hear me all right, right?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. So let me tell y'all something. Um, and you know what, sis? I can't even remember how we even came to be connected with each other. All I can say is it was a divine connection, right? And from the very inception of just being a part of this organization, being a part of what you have not only manifested, but like I tell people all the time, this is only the beginning of what God has in store for what you're doing. Because what I've witnessed just being a part of your organization, being a part of engagements, one thing about it is you drive this whole thing with passion. Um, and that's one thing that I saw from the very beginning. It's not money motivated. Um, even though I see the vision for what you know this is going to accomplish and how many people is going to reach. And the money part is man, I see it. But when you first started this, it wasn't about that. It was about reaching women. It was about reaching not just women, but just men, anybody that had a motivation and a drive to be more than what they felt like they could be. And I see that with your organization, just allowing people to see their full potential. And I saw that from the very beginning. And anytime that I have anything going on, it doesn't matter what it is. If you call on me, I'm here. um
You are.
and I don't mind it. Matter of fact, this is my honor. And I feel like it's an honor and a privilege every time that you count on me, or you call on me, to be a part of this, because I see the ultimate vision of what you want to accomplish with people. And your main motivation is to push people above and beyond what they even think that they could accomplish. And when I tell you that I'm truly honored to be a part of this movement that you have going on. To be honored, to say that I'm honored is truly an understatement.
Well,
You
I
know,
just want to say thank you so much. I just, I remember so many times you were there for so many events, even in-person events when we didn't have nobody showing up. You were there, and I just want to say thank you. And you're right, we all have grown together. And no matter what you got going on, I told you I keep your business alive. So no matter what, I'm always going to be pulling on you. So I just want to tell you it's because I believe also in you and what you're doing. So without further ado, we are getting ready to jump into the topic that you have. And the topic for today that you're going to speak on is you were born to create. So without further ado, I'm going to drop the mic over to you.
Awesome, awesome. And once again, thank you again, Sister Sunshine, for even allowing me to be a part of this. And like I said, it's an honor to be. Okay. So like you said, it's the topic of my conversation, and I'm not going to be very long because Sunshine, one thing that Sunshine knows about me is that I'm not very spontaneous. I go based off of what God gives me. So I didn't really plan anything that I'm getting ready to say, because I feel like anything that God has led me to do, He's going to give me the tools and the knowledge to bring it forth. So hopefully, y'all get value out of what I say, because it's nothing that was really planned. But I think that it's all to the everything that I do is to the glory and to the benefit of God. God is in the midst of everything that I do. I don't want to how would I say it, disrespect anyone if that's not their views, but I have to tell people where I come from. And I serve the Almighty God. And He's in the midst of everything that I do. And so with that being said, I just wanted to talk about the fact of, we were born to create. And that's something that, even when I think about it, sometimes when I'm driving to work, or I'm, just sitting outside and I look at, the clouds and the moon and the trees and the birds, I just think about the fact of God allowed me to be a part of this whole creation that he put forth, and that in and of itself is something to really think about and to really contemplate on. That out of everything that he's created, the universe, everything, He thought enough of you for you to be part of His master creation. And so when you think about that, and you actually think about the fact of He created everything, and He thought enough of you to be here, is something to think about. And so I wanted to start off by talking about Genesis 1. The first sentence in the Bible is God created the heavens and the earth. So I want y'all to think about that, right? That was one of the first things that the Bible stated that God did, was He created. He created the heavens and the earth, right? And so if you go back down into the 26th chapter of Genesis, that's when they start talking about the creation of man. And so there was something significant about that part of the Bible, because up until that point, God created the heavens and the earth. He created the sea. He created the sky. He created the oceans. He created the other living beings. But it wasn't until the 26th verse that you start seeing the Trinity. You start seeing the whole manifestation of God that came into the creation of man. On the 26th verse of Genesis, that was the first time that you heard where He said, "Let us make man." Before that, it was God speaking. When He came to the creation of man, He had to bring in the whole Godhead. He had to create the whole Trinity to create man. And then when you look at it, the human race, mankind was the only creation where God actually blew His breath. Man was not created until God blew His very breath into man. And so when you think about that, that is something magnificent. That's something where it sets us apart from anything else that God has ever created. Because in order for God to create man, He had to blow His very breath into them. So that tells you right there, where if we were created in the image of God, in the likeness of God, right? We were created to create, because that's what God originally did, was He created. And then when you go down into Matthew's, where it talks about, the creation of God, and the fact that when Jesus was teaching his disciples how to pray, it said that thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So, you know, a lot of people, I was born in under what they call Church of God in Christ, right? So there was a lot of dogma. There was a lot of traditions. You know, we were taught that, oh, well, you know, you need to be satisfied with what you have, right? You don't need to worry about wealth. You don't need to be worried about, as long as you have what you need, that's what you need to focus on. That was never God's intention. When you look at the story of Jesus and the way that he told his disciples to pray, he said, let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So that means that we have the ability to create heaven on earth. That was what God was, you know, created for us to do. It was never, you know, for us just to get by. If that was the case, God would have never told us to create an inheritance for our children and our children's children. You cannot create an inheritance for your children and your children's children if you have no money. The Bible says, be a lender and not a borrower. How can you lend money? How can you help someone else if you have no money? So it's time for us to come into the realization and the understanding of what God created for us to do, for us to create. And so I'm going to just do, you know, a couple of key points to why people can't come to the realization of how they can create. And I'm going to tell you a couple of points on how to overcome that. So one of the things, you know, why people can't, I guess, get to the mindset, and I'm very strict about mindset. I've grown major organizations within, you know, my business. And one of the things that I teach people before I teach them even the business concepts, I teach them the mindset, because everything starts with your mind. Everything starts with your mind. It doesn't matter how, you know, how skilled you are in, you know, what you want to do business wise. If your mindset is not right, nothing else matters. And so I teach them that one of the things that prevents you from being able to create is because, first of all, you forget how to dream, right? You know, I think about my children. I think about, because I work, you know, in mental health and social work, and I've dealt with children over probably 2 decades, right? And one of the things about children is that they know how to dream. There's nothing until they come into the real, you know, something that hinders them from being able to dream or being able to, you know, think that nothing's impossible. They think that everything is possible, you know. And I learned that with my oldest daughter. You know, she would do things and she would say things, and I didn't know how it was going to happen, you know. And she would tell me, Mom, you know, because I had my oldest daughter when I was in college, my second year in college. And we used to go to this church that used to give away bikes. And there would be, you know, hundreds of children there. And they would give out maybe 10, 20 bikes among the children. And every single year for 3 years, she would tell me, Mom, I'm going to get one of those bikes. And not only did she tell me she was going to get one of those bikes, she would point out the very bike that she was going to get. And she said, I'm going to get that one right there with the tassels hanging off right there. And I said, okay. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to have to work probably 40 extra hours to get her this bike, because we have all these hundreds of children. You know, what possibility is it that she's going to get this bike? When I tell y'all, for 3 years straight, she got one of those bikes. And not only did she get the bike, she got the bike that she pointed out that she was going to get. My younger 2 daughters right now, they qualified to go to the Junior Olympics, which I was telling my sister Sunshine earlier. The first year of them being in the Junior Olympics. And to me, I was thinking to myself, okay, well, for them to go to states, they have to beat, you know, because they had to, you know, make the top 8 out of over 20, 30 girls. And I'm thinking, okay, well, yeah, they're good, but, you know, they have a lot of competition. And then they made it through states. They went to regionals. Same thing. They had to beat, you know, top 8 out of 20, you know, 30, 40 girls. When they made it through regionals. And then, you know, and I'm thinking, okay, well, man, like, you know, it just boggled my mind, because I'm thinking, like, how, you know, you know, to my mind, I couldn't really see it, because I'm like, okay, this is their first year running, but in their mind, there was no defeat. they knew that they were going to make it. My 12-year-old, she suffered from injuries to her leg, to her foot. Even when she qualified for Junior Olympics, she basically limped over the finish line to qualify. You know, when we operate in the mindset of a child, not to be childish or anything, but you know, children, they feel like there's nothing that's impossible. And you know, if we can keep that same mindset to where nothing that we want to accomplish is impossible, there's so many things that we can accomplish, because you know, we were born in the likeness and the image of God. And then, you know, another thing, you know, why people can't you know, focus on creating is because they want to focus on how, you know, how things are going to happen. And so what I tell my teams all the time is, you don't have to focus on the how. When you focus on what you want to do, right, and then why you want to do it, you know, focus on, okay, what is it that I want to do? And then, you know, why is it that I want to do this? Is it because, you know, I want to create an inheritance for my children? Develop why you want to do what you want to do. The how comes from God. And I'm going to give you an example. If you look in the Bible, when you look at the story of Noah, when God told Noah, you're going to build this ark, right? Noah knew what he was going to do. He was going to build an ark, right? He knew why he was going to do it, because God was going to send a rain that was going to destroy all humankind other than whoever was on that ark. He didn't know anything about how to build the ark. But once he made that determination that he was going to build that ark, and he knew why, all of a sudden God sent him instructions. You're going to build this ark from this point to this point, from this width to this height. You're going to make this many cubicles, enough to fit a pair of each one of the animals on this. God gave him specific instructions. God provided the how. So you don't have to worry about how you're going to do something. Make a determination that you're going to do it, and that you're going to wait on God to show you and give you the instructions on how to do it. And when you do that, God's going to add the increase to what you have to do. Because if everything that you're doing is to the glory and the benefit of God, he's going to show you how to do it. That's why Solomon, when God asked him, what do you want I'll give you anything that you want to do. He said, give me wisdom to be able to run this kingdom. So all you have to do is know what you want to do. God will provide the increase. And then the last thing that I want to say, because a lot of people, they don't know how to create because they don't set a clear vision, right? And one thing that I teach my teams that I run is, you cannot hit a target that you can't see. If you can't see what you're going towards, how are you going to hit it? So you have to set a clear vision on what you want to do, and you know, and execute on it. You have to write it down. You know, a lot of people, they say, well, you know, vision boards work for them. You know, more people are more into actually, you know, seeing pictures of different things. I'm more of a journalist. You know, I write things down because I like to see my own words come back at me. So however it is that you can do to where you see that vision on a daily basis, whether you have a vision board, whether you journal, whether you just sit down and meditate for 20 minutes and envision what you want to accomplish, you need to do that. And you need to do that with consistency. You know, there's been many studies that say it takes, you know, 30, 40 days to develop a habit. So you can't just focus on your vision for one day and then put it off for a week. It's something that has to be consistent.
You're
Because
right.
you know, you have to show that that's something that you really want. You're going to work for it. And so consistency is the key. And so hopefully y'all, you know, learn something. Like I said, it wasn't anything that I wrote down, but this is something that God had gave me. So hopefully you found value in it. Thank you again to my sis for allowing me to be a part of this platform. I truly appreciate it. And once again, I hope that y'all found value, and y'all have a blessed night.
Oh, I loved it. I love how you refer back to the Bible, and also relating to business. Anybody that knows me, I always say business is purpose, because if it's purpose, then you're going to be passionate to be able to grow it. So I love the way that you were able to correlate that. Don't worry about the how, and that's really what's sometimes slows down people from starting. So again, thank you, Starlin, for definitely sharing that with us, how to create. I know y'all are enjoying this. Well, if y'all love what Starlin just shared, then guess what? You're going to love what the speakers also have to bring to add value. So that being said, we're going to jump to our next speaker on tonight, and her name is going to be Felicia Phillips. Felicia Phillips is going to be speaking on using life insurance to create wealth. So that being said, be ready to ask questions, be ready to DM her while she's speaking, and let's go ahead and get this started. You can start off by introducing your business, and we'll jump right into the interview.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Sunshine, for having me. And Starlin, it was really great. I just caught the tail end. I wish I had seen and heard it all. But you said some really great things regarding consistency, mindset, and things that actually really correlate to money as well. So as Sunshine, my name is Felicia Phillips, and I am a licensed financial services professional. And what that essentially means is that I work with individuals, I work with families, and I work with business owners in order to help them to make more money, to grow their money, to protect their money, and to save their money. Grow, protect, and save.
Thank you so much for letting us know that. And that is so important. And what a great topic, because we want to make lots of money, but we also want to know how to be able to grow and save that. So can you tell me, when it comes to the growth part, how does that happen with what you do?
Sure. So it's so interesting that you say that. When I tell people what I do, I use that acronym GPS, right? Which stands for grow, protect, and save. But in reality, when you think about it, before we can get to the place of growing the money, we actually have to start saving. And so while I use that GPS because it's easier to remember, I actually prefer to start with the saving, right? Because you have to start somewhere. And sometimes there are reasons why people are in the financial situations that they're in, where they're perhaps not saving money, right? The average American, unfortunately, can't put their hands on $400 in the case of an emergency. And that's a problem. And sometimes people don't save because they think, I don't have enough to save. Oftentimes people are not saving because there's a cash flow issue, right? Maybe all of my funds going to pay all of my bills. At the end of the month, I have more month than I have money. And so the first thing, and it so aligns with what Starlin said as far as consistency, the first thing that I do with people is help them to develop their saving muscle. So even if you're just saving $5 a day, I talked to a really good friend a couple of weeks ago, and she said, I made a commitment to pay off my student loans. And I literally, if I just had an extra $5, I did that until I was able to build up and save more. And so I tell people that you want to start with savings. Make savings a habit. Exercise your savings muscle. And then once you start saving, it could be that $5. It could be that $10, right? That $10 will turn into $100. That $100 will turn into $200 because you've gotten into the practice of saving, right? We get a pay, or for those entrepreneurs, we get a payment, we get a contract, and what do? We send that money right back out. We have to begin by deciding that we're going to start saving, and you start exactly where you are. When I work with my clients, oftentimes they're like, well, what's the minimum that I can do? How much can I do with this? Because we are afraid. We've oftentimes not been by a licensed financial services professional. And so we think that I have to be able to, put aside $1,000, or I have to be able to put aside $5,000, right? And that actually is the difference between me and a financial advisor or a financial planner, right? Financial advisors actually charge you to sit down and to come up with a plan and to talk through what it is that you're doing. And that can be anywhere between $3,000 and $5,000. And then they'll tell you at times that they're not even going to sit down with you unless you have a certain portfolio, right? On the low end, maybe $250,000. And so what happens to all the individuals who are saying, hey, I want to create wealth. I want to have money saved up. I want to enjoy my golden years in my retirement, but I can't even get started because I don't already have the money. If I already had the money, right, then I wouldn't need you. It's sort of like when kids get out of college and they are trying to find a job, but they don't have experience. And they're like, well, how am I supposed to get experience if I don't get the job? Well, it's the same thing with money. How do you begin to say, how do you have, if you don't have savings? And so we want to start with savings. When I sit down with my clients, it's absolutely complimentary. I sit down and I provide financial literacy and I provide financial education so that my clients understand the many options that are available to them and they can make informed decisions. So once we have exercised that savings muscle, then we want to look at, well, where are we saving, right? If you think about your average savings account, how much interest are you getting on that money, right? The bank is paying you 0 point disrespect on your money. You're not getting anything with that. But what do we do when, our kids are younger? We're like, let's, get them a savings account. Let's teach them how to save. And so we teach our kids, right? And even us as adults, we're putting money into these accounts that are not bearing a lot of interest. We're not really getting a lot out of it, right? So once we're saving, then we want to move our money into vehicles that are going to pay us. A high yield savings account is typically the first thing that I recommend, particularly for my younger people, right? Because you're going to get somewhere between 4 to 6%, really 4 to 5% interest on that, right? And then once they're in that place where they're regularly saving, then we can look at some opportunities to grow the money, which I know is your original question. So how do we grow the money? By understanding where we put our money. And one of the key things that I show my clients that is just mind-blowing, and it was something that I was not even aware of before I began working in this industry, and that is, the very title or the topic that I said I was going to come and talk about today, using life insurance to create wealth. It's so funny because I've sat down with people and they've said, oh, well, I don't believe in life insurance. And I laugh and say, really, do you believe in banks? And they say, well, yeah, do you have bank accounts? Yeah. Well, guess what? You may not believe in life insurance, but your bank sure does, because banks are putting billions of dollars into life insurance assets. And guess where those billions of dollars are coming from? Your savings account, Starlin savings account, Tanya savings account, right? They're taking our money and they're putting it into life insurance assets. Why? Because the banks know that life insurance is safe, it's stable, and it's going to provide consistent growth. And guess what? There's this little thing called compounded interest. So they take your money, they put it into life insurance, it grows at compounded interest, right? And you have this big stack of money, but guess what? It's not your money. It's their money, because they've used your money to make a lot of money, and then they toss you the crumbs, right? You get that little, like I said, 0 point disrespect on your money. And so what I teach people is how they can structure their finances and participate in plans where they can actually cut out the middleman, right? So instead of me taking my money and putting it into a bank for less than 1% interest, I can take my money and put it into an index strategy where it's going to have tax benefits, tax advantages that oftentimes, if you're not sitting down with a licensed financial professional, you're not aware of. But you can also grow your own money at compounded interest. And guess what? When you need to buy that car, you don't have to go to the credit union. When you need to put a down payment on your house, you don't have to go to borrow money from anybody. You can go and you can access your cash value policy and pull that money out absolutely tax-free and use it however you want. When you want to pay for college, guess what? You can go ahead and use that money out. And so that's how we're able to grow money and make money as we're saving. And guess what? The sky is the limit. Again, you can start as little as you want. I have some of my younger clients who, let me just be clear. These plans are actually designed to be max funded. So if you are financially able, you want to stack as much money as you can into the plan, but it doesn't preclude you from participating if you can't. So I have some younger people, some single moms, some younger families. They're like, can I start with $75? Can I start with $100, $150? Absolutely. And you can always build up to that. But what you is that your money is going to grow. And guess what? Another really powerful thing about the index strategy is that it's going to mirror the marketplace. But guess what? It's not a part of the market. So what does that It means that I can put my money into a plan where when the market is up, my money is going to grow. It's going to go up. But when the market dips, like the variable products that we're more accustomed to, the 401ks, the 403bs, the thrift savings plans, all of those different retirement plans that are subject to market loss, when my money is in an index strategy, I'm going to get growth. But then when the market goes down, my money is going to lock in. So I'm not going to lose any money. And that is actually something that's really wonderful about what I do, because I get to sleep really well at night, knowing that no matter what type of plan I offer my clients, they're either going to grow, go up, or it's going to lock in. So they're never, ever, ever going to lose any money. And that hits for me personally because I had an experience like many of you, right? Last year and, since the pandemic, the market has been so volatile. People are losing money. People are not able to retire when they want to retire. People are concerned that they're going to run out of money during retirement, because on average, we're living about 20, 25 years, sometimes 30 years post-retirement. And so I saw that with my father. My father had a variable account, right? And just by definition, what is variable? Unstable and uncertain. And so I said, hey, sunshine, I have a car for you. Oh my goodness, I want you to grab this car. It's unstable, it's unreliable, and it's uncertain. You're not going to buy that car. You're going to look at me like I have three heads. But yet we've been programmed to believe that putting our life savings into a plan that's subject to market loss, as volatile as the market is the only option. And so my father, about a year ago or so, lost $65,000 in his variable account. My father is 76 years old. We don't have time to ride the market. We don't have time to wait it out. And so I said, oh no, Daddy, because guess what? Your baby girl is a licensed financial services professional. We're going to get this thing right. And so we were able to move his money from this variable account into a fixed index annuity, where he's going to have unlimited growth potential. There's going to be a death benefit for my mother, right, when he passes away. And he's never, ever, ever going to lose a dime. And we even can get him a bonus. So there are tons of ways to use life insurance and other financial service products to grow wealth without having to risk it all in the market. I know that was a whole mouthful in response to your first question, so I probably took up all my time. But I will.
No. It was very very informative. I'm so glad that you started out with savings, because most of the time we run directly to growth, but without savings we cannot grow. So you definitely are a professional, because you started off with the first piece, which is saving. And I love the way you broke that down, how it is a habit that needs to be created gradually over time. And before you could talk about growth, because if that mindset is not where it needs to be in savings, when growth comes, you're going to wind up back.
Absolutely. Do you want me to continue, or do you have another question, or are there any other questions that I need to respond to?
All right. Hey, y'all, give me one moment. I'm sorry. All right.
You're muted.
Tanya, if you can help me out to be able to conclude this, so I get myself together one more.
Absolutely. Well, Felicia, first of all, that was amazing. I really think that what you shared about saving and, the part you said about running out of money, like that is, I think, a fear people have.
Absolutely.
And, you just knowing that we have someone that we could come to. I think the fact that you offer this service that's free, that's consultation, that someone can come to and get really solid financial advice. I think that's amazing. So I really enjoyed it. And I love that you said that you have a GPS, right? You have this grow, protect, and save.
Yes.
And I think that you have got to be giving people such a piece.
Okay. Okay, I'm so sorry. Y'all, I have this sinus drainage, whatever it is. So I am, but as business owners, when we have something planned, we're going to show up no matter what. So I do apologize. Okay, so but we got to jump back into it. Tanya, I'm going to let you go ahead and finish what you were saying. I apologize. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just kind of just telling Felicia how I appreciated that her sharing her knowledge with us, and that was I was pretty much finished at that point.
Awesome. Felicia, I mean, I love the fact that you're talking about savings and then you moved into growth. And the fact that anybody can start at any level
Yes.
to be able to go. And then as business owners, we're always seeing additional streams of income. So to be able to know that we can take our money and be able to save it and put it into this is phenomenal. I love your energy. I love your drive, and I love your passion, because it gives people hope to know that, hey, listen, you don't have to go spend that out, eating out. Because if you calculate, everybody has a habit. So if you calculate whatever amount of money you spend on that habit and you invest it into what you have with the life insurance, we can truly build generational wealth, which can
Yes.
continue to help us to expand not just our business, but also expand and do other things that we want to do with our lives. And so can you tell people how they can get in contact with you and any other programs you have? And then we're going to jump right into our next speaker.
Absolutely. So again, Tanya, thank you so much. And Sunshine, thank you so much. I'm going to give you my email address. You can reach me at info@FeliciaRPhillips.com. And again, I do offer complimentary financial reviews, right? Just like you go to the doctor for an annual checkup. If you have not had a financial checkup, I would love to sit down with you and talk about your goals and come up with a plan for how you can reach those goals. So we'll set that time up. And just want to conclude with, we talked about the growth and we talked about the savings. What people typically think of when I say that I'm a licensed financial services professional or that I have a life insurance license is the part. So don't want to leave that out. We also people to get protection, to make sure that if something happened to you, if you have a major medical issue, will your insurance company pay you out a six-figure check? Right? Do you have a plan that will allow your insurance company to pay you out a six-figure check if you have a chronic, critical, or terminal illness able to work? Guess what? We're able to do that. For the business owners, when we talk about saving in a cash value policy, guess what? It's a tax deduction. So if you need to save money on your taxes, and many of us entrepreneurs, we're always looking for ways to save money on taxes, I want you to reach out to me so we can talk through that. And then finally, oftentimes as entrepreneurs, we exhaust our retirement, right, to start the business. And then what do? We pour all of the additional money into growing the business and completely forget about retirement. Again, I would love to sit down and talk about executive bonus planning, key person insurance, buy-sell agreements. If you have a partner, there's so much that can be done. And even as far as the additional income stream, listen, I'm going to be very honest. I'm growing my team, right? And every entrepreneur can even do what I'm doing because I have time freedom, I have location freedom, and I have income freedom. You don't have to abandon whatever your primary role is or your job. I have people that work 9 to 5s on my team, and I'd be open to talking to you even about being a referral partner where you refer people to me, and guess what? You can get 50% of any business that is closed. That's a really great deal. I am available again at info@FeliciaRPhillips.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at FRP Speaks. At FRP Speaks. And if you want to copy my number down, it's 215-908-9942. I respond much better and more quickly to text messages. Let me know that you saw me as a part of this 10K Global Women in Business Tour and that you want to sit down and get your finances in order, and I'd be happy to assist. Again, thank you, ladies, for allowing me to be a part of this tonight.
Well, thank you. I've got to call you the growth coach. So thank you so much for delivering that growth experience for us. I just renamed your topic. Okay. So we do appreciate it. And I know that I'm going to be booking my time. You can never be well put together when it comes to your portfolio. And sometimes we don't take time to relook at it. So thank you so much. Without further, I want to go ahead and now get ready to start to go to our next speaker on tonight. It's going to be a jam-packed event. And so we have no other than Coach Tanya. Coach Tanya Smith. She helps us to show up right and be able to be feeling comfortable with the video. So her topic on tonight is going to be on, give me one moment. All right. Tonya, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you share your topic because I don't think I put it on this form my admin gave me. But if you can, share your topic with the audience and let them know a little bit about yourself and then go right into it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Sunshine. Thank you so much for this platform. I just love coming into your audience. It's just such an amazing experience to be here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I think that's going to be the best way to share what exactly I'm doing here. Let's see.
All right.
See if
Give me 1 second. I'm going to help you.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Let's see where I'm at here.
Oh, I don't see it yet.
Okay. All right. Let me make sure I can. It's been entire screen. It's the end of. Oh, there we go. Maybe. Let me see if it's gonna. Is it?
Let's see. Give me a second.
Hmm.
Okay. Try to bring it. Is it coming up or was it on?
Yeah, it's weird. Let me see if I can get this.
And so while you're doing that, I just want to let people know I love the virtual world is very interesting because it really helps you to overcome being a perfectionist.
Yes.
I'm serious. I mean, it's really helped you. As you can see, entrepreneurs on here, we're so calm, we're so relaxed. And it's only because we know that when we have a goal of trying to get something accomplished, things will happen. So it's that margin of error that we're prepared for, but we're very determined to still get it accomplished. So we thank you for your patience. And I think I see it down here. Give me 1 second. No, I do not.
Well, that's okay. If not, I will make it do without it. It's just, oh, there it is. I found it.
You found it? Okay.
I have a new computer. And so because
congratulations.
It's still not wanting me to. Let me try this really quick. Always allow. There we go. Maybe I've just got to give permission. And for some reason, it doesn't want me to have permission, y'all.
What do you mean? Do I need to accept it or what?
I don't know. I'm seeing it, but it's not wanting to show it. So
Can you send it to me and I'll share it?
Oh, maybe.
Let's try that way.
Okay. All right, I'm going to do this one more time, y'all. Let's see what happens. It says it should be open. It's ready to go. All right, well, let me send it to you. And then while I'm talking, then we can just make it work. Geez, shouldn't be this difficult, huh?
All right, let's see. You send to the email.
Where do you want me to send it?
You could email it and then I'll upload it that way.
Okay, how about can I just send it in the chat in here?
Yeah, you could. Let's do that.
That might be easier. All right, y'all. All right. Well, private chat. Let's try that. There we go.
Great job. All right.
All right. So let me just go ahead and get started. And then if that comes up, that's fine. So this topic is really near and dear to my heart because when I help people, I'm a social media marketing strategist. And when I help people with their branding and understanding how to create content that speaks to the language that their audience needs to hear so they can open that communication, we come into some problems sometimes. I got hung up on, well, who am I trying to serve? Who is that person? Who am I? Like showing up as yourself on social media, you hear about be authentic, right? Well, what does that mean? And so I wanted to take us all on this journey to unleash our inner masterpiece. And let me know, Sunshine, if you happen to get this up. Let me see if I can click on this, if it'll come up. Let me try this real quick. Because maybe, just maybe.
Is it working?
You know what? Here it is. Right. There you go. How do you see it now? Is that it?
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus.
Are you in control of it?
I'm in control of it. Okay, I got this. Perfect. I got it. So here we are. We're going to unleash our inner masterpiece. And so just to show who I am, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a grandma, I'm a very young great grandma. That's a whole other story. But I live in the country. I love to travel, go on adventures with my horse and my dog. I know how important it is to create an income while enjoying life to its fullest. So I help digital marketers dominate their social media without the burnout so they can live, create a life and business of their dreams. Now, I am not a sports person, y'all, but I came across John Wooden in a podcast, and I want to say it was Tony Robbins, and they were talking about they gave some clips of his, and he's one of the best baseball coaches apparently, and not baseball, basketball, and he won 10 NCAA national championships in 12 years as the head coach of UCLA Bruins, and he had a 29-year coaching career and was known for his leadership and short, simple, inspirational messages to his players. And so he had this creed, and this creed, when I heard it, I'm like, this is so powerful. I even copied it and I put it on my wall in my closet so I could see it every day. And I hear a puppy. That is so cute. Y'all, I am a dog person, so keep it up. But be true to yourself was the first one. Make each day your masterpiece. Help others. Drink deeply from the good books, especially the Bible. Make friendship a fine art. Build a shelter against a rainy day. And pray for guidance and give thanks for your blessings every day. And so I read these and, be true to yourself. What does that mean? And then skipping down, it was like, make friendship a fine art. Some of the others like really resonated with me, but I understood. But some of these, like, what is make friendship a fine art? What does that even mean? And was I doing it? And then the one thing that really puzzled me was make each day your masterpiece. I'm like, what does that mean? I mean, your masterpiece, a masterpiece is rare. It's special. It's precious. How could we make each day that? And so by diving in a little deeper, I was able to unravel some things that I thought I'd share with you to take you on this journey with me. And this is the journey I like to take people on that help them with their marketing to understand not only who they're speaking to, but how to build that audience of people that really resonate with you. And believe it or not, it starts with understanding who you are. And so this is a puzzling question. Like if I asked you, and Sunshine, I'm going to ask you, even though we know your name, if I asked you, Sunshine, who are you? What would be your response? You're muted, darling. Well, you know what? We're going to go on. I can't hear you, girl. So, but what we attempt to do is.
I'm sorry, I was muted.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so who I am a mother, and also I am a CEO, and also I am a sales employee of sales, and also most of all, I'm me.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of times when we ask who are you, right? We introduce ourselves. A lot of times you say, hello, my name is, right? Which is a wonderful way of getting to know people. So none of this is in means of we shouldn't do this anymore, right? But if you took that away, if your name is not your name, who you would still be you, right? If all the list of things, Sunshine, that you shared, basically things that have happened, that you've been a part of, were not experienced by you, you would still be you. And so to dig that deeper, like, who are you then? Like, that just blew my mind away. If I thought about that, I'm like, okay, if I'm not my name, and I'm not a wife and a mom and a grandma, and all the experiences of my life created me to be who I am. But who are I? Who am I? Who God created me to be? And that is something I want to help us dig into that. By being clear on who we are, helps us guide decision making. It decreases our self-confidence, promotes authenticity. What is one of the best ways to show up on social media or in any business is to be authentic. But you got to know who you are to be that authentic you. You improve your resilience, promotes personal growth, enriches relationships, contributes to career satisfaction and helps in setting priorities. Y'all, I Googled this just so you know. Okay. So I'm going to invite you on this journey. And I just think it's going to be maybe enlightening, but I don't know. It may not even surprise you. But what we need when on a journey is a compass, because without a reference point, the compass will spin out of control, right? If you didn't have that northern focal point, right? We need a reference point to know what roads to choose in our journey, in our life, in our business. And that is our values, our core values. What makes us and who are we, right? You also need to know that what those danger signs are, those wrong way, do not enter. This can be behaviors that you wish to avoid in your journey, in your life's journey. You may want to distance yourself from negative or mean-spirited people, or maybe avoid situations that bring on stress if you can. And so being very to know who you are and what that is, those non-negotiables that you're not going to put yourself in front of, is important. But this is even more important, I think. Well, maybe not more. It's all together, right? What is those hidden treasures? We're going to go on this hunt, right? You're going to go on a hunt for your hidden treasures. And this is not a box with treasures. It's your unique gifts. Those are your strengths, are your personal hidden treasures. So your initial step in creating your daily masterpiece, after you've discovered who you are, you found out what you want to avoid in life, those non-negotiables, and then you're going to uncover your strengths. What are those things that really make you stand out? Understanding those core values, who you are at the core, that intuition that comes when you've got that clarity that God gave you when you were born. Because a lot of times we'll say something about describing ourselves, but that person, I wasn't a grandmother at 5, but at 5 years old, I was still me. I wasn't I've changed so much from that child, but that child had some ingrained who I was. I may not have known who she was yet. Mm-hmm. And so once you understand and get that clarity, then start each day. And this is just, I think everyone should define what the masterpiece looks like of your day. But the one thing that I found I feel like if everyone did this, it will start your day on a positive note and getting it focused on what you need to focus on, and start each day by identifying at least 3 things that you're truly grateful for. And this is before your feet hit the ground. And that way, instead of waking up with that feeling of stress and overwhelm for all the things you got to do, thinking of the things that didn't go right the day before, you start with this place of gratitude. And so that is the end of my presentation. I just want to share with you, if you want to find out more about this and how to dig deeper, I do have a worksheet for this. Reach out to me. And I believe that's the end of my presentation on that. But yes, just reach out to me because I do have a worksheet where it digs into this. But just I want to share, if you will give me permission to share who I am.
Most definitely, please do.
Right. So this has taken me some soul searching and work on the last year. But I am a wild soul for Jesus. My heart song sings love, joy, and serenity as I radiate God's light. My purpose is to align myself with God daily so that his message speaks through me as I serve others in a powerful way. My core values is love, family, integrity, and faith. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Sometimes when you get a speaker, you just be speechless. That is powerful. And I love the way you defined it. This comes above the business owner, the coach. Tanya that we know. And I love the way that you presented this into the overall program. Who are we? And it's so funny because we define ourselves with roles. We never thought to bring it up in a little bit more deeper. So, I mean, it's just, what a great presentation. I'm going to give one of the speakers opportunity to respond, and then we're going to go to our next speaker. Go ahead.
I would like to respond, if y'all don't mind.
Yes, go ahead.
I'll be very short. Miss Tanya, I enjoyed that whole presentation. I had to mute my camera because I had some other things going on in the background, but I was listening, and I especially the part about gratitude, right? It's something about when you are grateful, right? When you let go of your ego and you're actually grateful, and you're thankful for, what God gives you, and what you're able to accomplish. It opens the door for many other things to come forth. Right. And so when I tell you that whole presentation, I was getting goosebumps. There's a couple of times I was glad my camera was off, because I'm like, oh my God, So when I tell you, truly, truly inspirational. I've been writing a bunch of notes. So yes, absolutely, absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
This is what we expect all the time. Coach Tanya, every time you come on platform, you always bring us something that's going to hit home right at that moment, and something we can grow with. So just one quick question for you. Then I'm going to jump to our next speaker. I'm so sorry. What inspired you to pick this topic?
This is something that I felt that, when I was in this process of figuring out who I am and what is my heart song, what is my mission, my purpose in this journey that I came to. And earlier this year, I had a business partner, and she had to leave the business, not because she wanted to, but because of her health. And we had planned to work together forever. We loved working together. We still love her dearly. And I felt like, why did she leave? Why not questioning her, but why did her health bring this? And a lot of whys came up, a lot of why did this happen? And then I'm like, now, then where do I go from here? Who am I now? Right. And so I just, in this journey, and I felt this, once I got that clarity, I know who I am. I know what I'm not going to allow in my life. I know that I'm a child of God, and I'm not going to be ashamed of that or afraid to mention that or talk about that in my business and in my life. And once I got that clarity and very firm in who I am, doors opened, and I felt like I had a freedom to be able to speak to the people that I want to serve in such a more powerful way. And so that is why I came up with this topic. And John Wooden, I heard that his list of 7 points to live by a few years ago, and it just never left me. I thought, how can you make each day a masterpiece? And before you can create your masterpiece, you have to know who you are. And so you can develop, what does that look like for you? And so that's where it just kind of all came together. So
Awesome. I love that you said that. It's always good to know where a topic originates from. It gives you the opportunity to connect with it. From day one, this organization has been a Christian organization, and God's going to show up no matter what. And it's amazing because my son plays basketball. I told him, I said, look, incorporate God in your basketball and you'll be unstoppable. And so he's like, okay, I got these many points. So we all know that is truly, that's true statement. So again, thank you so much, Coach Tanya Smith, for presenting. I know why I want to say it like a French name, but it's Tanya Smith.
You call me however you want to call me.
Coach Tanya Smith, thank you for presenting. We do appreciate it. We're going to jump right over to our next speaker on tonight. And this looks like our next speaker is going to now be we're going to jump over to Keisha Simone. And after Keisha Simone, we're going to jump right over to our next speaker. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Keisha Simone. It's called Running a Christ-Centered Business While Keeping Your Business Life Balance. Let me get Keisha Simone on the screen. see. Give me 1 second. Let me see if she's still here. One moment. All right. So, yeah. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're going to, while I'm working on getting Keisha Simone on screen, we're gonna go ahead and jump over to our next speaker, which that is going to be Deborah Prophet. How to manifest the 1 and 1 E. Okay, give me 1 second. She says she's here. So let me try to find, give me a second. Let me try to bring this down 1 moment. Oh, I know what it is. Oh, boy. Give me 1 moment, please. Thank you. All right, I don't see her on here. Give me 1 moment. I'm just going to check on her really quick, and then we're going to jump over. Give me 1 second. Message. All right. So, okay, let's see if this is how I think she finally came. 1 moment. 1 moment. All right, let me see right here. All right, if y'all could bear with us, we are running a little bit behind due to technical difficulties, but I think I have her on the line now. I cannot see your camera, Keisha, if you're on here. And then that being said, but we are ready for you. Let's see. All right, so Keisha, we cannot hear you either. All right, so that being said, while Keisha, so can you hear me, Keisha?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we can hear you, but we can't see you. But you can start while you're still trying to fix that problem.
I can hear you. You're chipping a little bit in and out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We just can't
Can you hear
see
me?
you. Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear me? All right. So, Keisha, you may try logging off and logging back on to see if that works.
Can you guys hear me?
Let's see. 1 moment.
Can you guys hear me?
1 moment.
Can you-
Give me 1 second, y'all. Thank you. All right, so we're going to work through Keisha's technical difficulties with the system. But in the meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and bring Cordelia Reed onto the platform. And then and she is going to be speaking on the topic, which that is, give me 1 second. Let me go on this list. All right. So, oh yeah. Are you willing? Are you waiting on God, or are you waiting in God? If you can't, go ahead and start. We'll be glad to hear from you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good night. How are you guys? My name is Cordelia Reed. I am author of Courage and Perseverance. My book is about being a teenage mom, raising 2 boys, and being in an abusive relationship. However, I'm an author, a philanthropist, a domestic survivor advocate, and I'm a wife, a mother, and a glamour. I say glamour because I'm pretty young, so I say glamour. I have 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls, and 4 grandkids, which is 3 boys and 1 girl.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. So tonight I want to just go straight into my presentation because this is such a great topic, because a lot of times we're waiting on stuff from God, but we don't realize that we're not waiting on God. He's really waiting on us to make the next step. As Sunshine said, and then I also want to say thank you, Sunshine, for inviting me to your platform. I greatly appreciate it. I want to talk about this topic. Let me give you some backstory. I am trying to get my real estate license to be a real estate agent. This is from May 2018. We're in 2023, right? And part of my story is about courage and perseverance, because this right here is perseverance for me, never giving up. So I went through the process of the college, did the 60-hour course to get my license with the state, finished that. I started the process of getting the state exam. I passed the state exam, but not the national, right? And I passed the state exam twice, not the national. And I've been doing the national exam since 2018, maybe 3 or 4 times each year. Now, when I realized this topic, it hit me so hard, because the last time I took the test was on July 12th to be exact. And I failed it by 2 points. 2 points could literally be 1 question or 2 questions, right? How many times we've come so close to something in life that God has promised over our lives, and we come close to it, but we don't get it, right? You're devastated. But at the end of the day, God's plan will always prevail over ours, right? So I did the test the last time, and I was a little bit disappointed because I knew what question that I didn't get right. And instead of this time me being upset with God, I was more upset with myself. And I didn't realize it until the Monday when I was going to work, and I'm in the car, and it just hit me. I think is Juanita Bynum sing that song, "Are you waiting in God or are you waiting on God?" I thought I was waiting on God, right? But he's waiting on me to do what I have to do. Why do I say that? Was I putting enough work to get where I need to be, right? The Bible said faith without works is dead. I wasn't doing what I need to do until it's up to the time of my exam. What am I saying? Say my exam is next week. I would do crunch time studying this entire week, block everything out, social media, hard. No, that's not the way to do it. I'm supposed to be doing that 2-3 months ahead, so that towards the end, I don't do that, right? And that way I have more knowledge to pass the test. So I was going to work the Monday morning, and it just hit me. And then I start singing the song, and I looked it up on YouTube. I don't know if you guys know that song. It's Waiting on God by Juanita Bynum. And let me tell you, I played that song. All I could say in the car was just Jesus, 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 Jesus. I was hollering on the way to work. There's nothing else that I could have said but just Jesus, 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 because it hit me. He's not waiting. I'm not waiting on him to get my blessing, because I know he's going to give it to me before he take me off this hurt, because his words will not return to him void, right? So everything that he has claimed over our lives, we're going to get it, but we're going to have to work for it. And I wasn't working for it. And I just break down. I literally just break down and just started crying, Jesus, 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 because that is me. That was my testimony right there. I need to do more, and that way I can achieve that dream that he has placed over my life, right? So I realized that, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to rush the test again. I'm going to take the time needed, study the proper way. My studying was YouTube, Prep Agent, and buy the flashcards. No, I need to do more. And it's not about just having the knowledge of what it is to pass the test. What kind of agent do I want to be after I pass the test, right? How am I going to help others to get this dream home, along with being a woman of God and doing things the proper way, right? So, what just happened? Can you guys see me? No, my computer just went blank. See, I'm not even going to claim it. I'm talking about the word here, right?
We've seen you.
So that is my testimony about having the courage to continue in the path that God has laid over my life. And I'm telling you guys to do the same thing too. I don't know what your dreams and goals are for yourself, for your family, for your health, whatever it may be, but don't give up. Continue to trust God. do the work and he will give you the dreams of your heart. Just like Jeremiah 29:11, right? Everything that he has plans for us, we're going to get it, but we have to do the work to get there. And I wasn't doing that. So I want to tell you guys, don't think that you're waiting on God. You need to be waiting in God, in the word, studying the word, present yourself around others that will make you progress to where you need to be. And if that means taking some time away from social media, taking some time away from certain individual that is not good for you while you're trying to be in that mindset to achieve the dreams that God has given you, then you need to do that. You really need to do that. And that's just a short testimony of where I am right now, because that's what's going on with me. The dream of becoming a real estate agent, and it just hit me. I'm not waiting on God. I need to be waiting in God, in the word, in his presence at all times. And even with that, so much that my prior life has decreased. And then I'm like, that day, Sunshine, everything just hit me. You're not praying the way you used to pray. You're not spending time with him in the word. You're not reading your Bible. You pick your Bible up in the mornings before you go to work, but you're not really studying. You're reading it for a few minutes before you go out the door. No, that's not the way to get God's blessing over my life. And I know he will bless me because he has blessed me so much before. Right? So I need to be waiting in him, not on him, because his words will never turn to him void. So that's where I am. That's what I'll be doing. So the next time I see you guys, I hear from you guys and come back on this platform, you're going to hear that I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of Connecticut. I am claiming it.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
I love it. To be able to take that perspective in real estate, because I'm like you, I love selling. So I'm like, okay, I need to sell something big. And so, real estate was next in. So I love it, but I never thought of it like the way you did, which is I guess it goes back to what Coach Tanya Smith was saying. Who are you within real estate? And that's what's going to make you stand out, going to make customers and clients gravitate towards you. You're truly not just getting a real estate license. You're definitely going to hit the greatest mark and selling so many homes. So I love the topic. I love the passion. And most of all, you allowed us to be able to really see ourselves and, in a better viewpoint as far as when we're pursuing anything, and it's phenomenal. Great topic. We love it. Any other speaker want to comment? Then we're going to jump right into our next speaker. I'm loving this.
Thank you.
Awesome. If you're muted, we cannot hear you. Give me 1 second.
Oh, you said that we need to give information on how to contact us on Facebook.
Yes, if you can't get them, how they can contact you on what social media platforms you're on as well.
So my social media is my name, which is Cordea, Cordea, last name Reid, Reid. And if you guys are having any events, I do empowerment speaking events. I talk about my journey as a teenage mom, my journey being a wife, the struggles of raising 2 boys as a single mom. And I also, help women or children wherever they need to be in any areas that I can, based on my story, based on my journey. I can't help you if I haven't been in your space before. That's always relatable for me. And I could be my authentic self by helping others to move forward and press forward in their dreams, goals, their lives, whatever it may be. Right now, I help a lot of my female friends I believe one of the speakers was talking about financials. And I do help a lot of my friends as far as cleaning up their credit, because I know what it was like to have a bad credit. I know what it was like to live in an apartment. By the grace of God, I have a home now. So I'm helping my sisters with no monetary gain to get to the next level in their lives, because I want us all to win. So my social media is Cordea Reid, and it's the same thing for my Instagram. And like I say, I have a book. It's called Courage and Perseverance. It's about being a teenage mom, being in an abusive relationship, and how I overcame that with God's help. And it's on Amazon. It's Courage. The screen is not big enough, but it's red and black. Can't miss it.
I love it. Oh my goodness. What an amazing topic, amazing mission, and just, I mean, this is, I'm so glad. Oh, give me a sec. Oh, yeah, I thought I was muted. All right. I'm so glad that we were able to connect. I look forward to definitely having you on more speaking platforms, and hopefully we get to do something in your hometown. Again, thank you so much for,
Thank you for having me. And I said, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. The honor is ours. We're just we're just glad to have you. So I definitely I didn't even know you had all that stored in you. Okay, so
that's a blessing in disguise.
So that being said, before we're gonna definitely move over to our next speaker again. Much love and thank you so much. Our next speaker is I would say though, this woman is just phenomenal. No matter what life throws at her, she's passionate, she's driven, and she really shows a true, example of what we all women want to be able to stand for and look at when we're on social media. Her branding is, it's outstanding. It's flawless. There you go. It's flawless. That's the way I would describe it. If you don't believe me, check out her page. She also makes sure that she captures women in an eye that we all can be able to say, okay, you know what, this woman is more than just her business. So our speaker is going to be Claire McCraig, and I better speak if I lose my voice. One moment. One moment.
I think you're on mute, sis.
Thank you. Taking a chance on yourself and how to import branding. So, Abby said, I'm going to go ahead and drop the mic over to you while I catch my voice. Thank you.
All righty. Hi, everybody. Good evening. I hope you can hear me fine. My name is Clarice, or you can call me Claire. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you, Sister Sunshine. You hyped me up so
I'm not lying. It is true. Check out the page, okay?
Well, I am so honored to be here, and I am a certified life coach. I am a published author. I am a professional published photographer and a social media manager and branding coach. So that was a mouthful, but I am also a believer. I am a worship leader at my church, and I do teach Sunday school for the kids, and I have a women's ministry called Broken But Beautifully Made. So today what I'm going to be talking about, I felt so passionate to talk about it because I feel like I'm speaking to myself as I discuss this topic with you guys. It's about taking a chance on yourself, and how important your brand is. Okay, so I am going to talk about what does it mean to really take a chance on ourselves. So I'm going to give you a backstory. I still work full-time with Verizon, and I'm sure you guys have heard Verizon is doing a huge layoff of employees, and I am one of them. And so I feel as though I did not see this coming, okay, because we as people, we tend to get used to our normal routine. This is how life is supposed to be, God. Why are you disturbing my peace right now? Why is this all of a sudden happening to me? And so I have been with the company for almost 6 years, and I only have a year and a half to get my bachelor's degree in business and project management. So hearing this news 2 months ago was the most devastating thing I've ever had to deal with. I've never had to deal with a layoff in my life. And it's something that I have gone through a lot in life. I am a survivor of trafficking and sexual abuse. And I have been homeless in New Mexico. I've gone through the depths of what you could possibly think of at the age of 33. You would never think someone could go through. I thought that life has already been hardened. I didn't think it could get even harder. And, and God was like, well, we're going to take a chance on yourself, and when Verizon had informed us that we are going to be laid off, I was devastated because it's something I was not expecting. And I had to make a decision. I prayed about it and I asked God, are you really doing this? I had to ask, like, is this really happening or is this just like a mistake? And I had a choice. I had a choice to either stay or take the severance. And God said, take the severance. And I'm like, okay, take the severance. Okay, here we are. And I'm the only one that works. My husband has medical conditions. So I am the sole provider of this household. So having to know that I am now taking a chance on myself and fully going into this world's so-called full-blown business ownership is so scary, But I feel like I was talking to my husband the other day and I told him, I'm like, when are you going to ever take a chance on yourself? Are you going to take a chance on yourself when you are in your late 50s? Which there's nothing wrong with that. But when the opportunity and the door is being given to you, are you going to fear the unknown or go full force and try it out? As a business and as an entrepreneur, I have been in business for 5 years. I have been doing it in the back end, working pretty much 2 jobs, if you think about it, working full time and running a business, 3 business. It was easy because I'm like, if I don't get enough business, I have Verizon to fall back on. I have a paycheck, Now you take that away. Now you hold yourself accountable. We often say, I want to be a business owner. I want to do all these big projects. I want to do this, this, and this. But are you really doing it? Or are you just saying the title that you're doing it? There's a difference between the two. And I'm feeling that now because in the back end, I have been doing it and I have no problem doing it. But to be forced and to be accountable to know that this is your it now, Clarice. Are you going to do it and hold yourself accountable and take a chance on yourself? We give up on our dreams so fast when little things does not come to par. We give up on the little things when it's time to launch things or execute things, and I feel like God has really worked on my life in the last 5 years of how it runs as far as executing, running a business, multitasking, and like how Miss Sunshine said, like, nobody had trained me. It's all God. He was my professor and he has walked me through it. And to make the decision of this is it and we're going to do this and we're going to do it no matter what. I want to encourage you guys as fellow business owners, as fellow entrepreneurs to take a chance on yourself. Don't be afraid of taking that risk. Yes, measure it, be wise about it, pray about it, and really seek God if this is what he's asking you to do. When I had to pray and ask God, do I look for a job, God, or do I go on business? And the thought of even looking for a job made me sick. I had so much anxiety that I wanted to throw up. That I'm like, I cannot do this. I have been in such a business mindset for so long that Verizon became a filler job for me because I just wanted to get the degree because they're paying for my school. So God was like, well, you want to take your sweet time. So I'm going to make sure we're going to take that away so you stop putting yourself aside. So my question to you is, what is that one dream and goal in your life that you have been putting aside because you are afraid that you are going to fail? Or you are afraid that no one is going to show up for you? Or you're afraid nobody's going to book me. How in the world am I going to do this? But the question is, that is a great question, because who has the opportunity to even ask themselves, who is going to book me? Not everybody gets to have the opportunity or even the chance to know that they have the opportunity to question themselves that question. Because not everybody is fit for the role of a business owner. Not everybody is fit for the role to say, I'm going to start a business, or I'm going to want to be the generational curse breaker of poverty in my family. Not everybody gets to have that opportunity. So I want to encourage everybody today that find that one dream and take a chance, you know? And I told my husband, I felt like he was a bank, and I'm having to tell him my business plan over and over. Like, I feel like I have to do like bi-weekly check-in of like, just letting you know, this is our plan, right? We good still? Because having to like explain to a person that my God can move mountains. And if he tells me that this is my plan and this is his plan, that it's time for me to go, all I could do is show up. You know, you have to find the courage within you to trust yourself, to take a chance on yourself that you have been doing it, and that you have what it takes, and that you have all the tools and resources. So why not do it? What is the worst thing you could do? Fail? All right, if you fail, go get a job then. You know what I mean? But what is the worst thing? You did not try. That when you are in your deathbed, all your dreams and goals is, guess what? Looking at you. Well, you didn't give us a chance, so we get to die with you. You didn't give us a chance, so now we're going to just bury away. You know, I told my husband, I'm like, if this means that you just give me a quarter, give me 1 quarter, quarter 4. If that means quarter 4, I knock it out of the park. That is enough. Because the moment you gave yourself a chance, you give yourself the confidence that God has already embedded in you, the identity that he's given you, to know that you are valuable, that you are worth it, that you're more than just the $19 per hour job that you have, that you can absolutely make 6-figure income because it is what you were called to do. You know, and so I wanted to encourage everybody, because your brand is important. You are the brand. Your smile is your brand. You carry yourself as the business owner that you are before it even comes forth. You know, and it speaks volume about your characteristics, so that when it's time for you to go forth and God said, part that sea, Moses, you better have that confidence and take up that staff and go forth and just do it anyways. Do it afraid. Do it scared. Do it unknowingly. Do it like, God, I don't know, but okay. And watch him do the miracles in your life. You know, I don't know. Nobody has booked me for September, but I'm trusting God. Here we go. We're jumping up. We're jumping. Because next month is my last month as a full-time employee. And then we go in full-blown business. But I want to encourage you that if I could take the risk, you could take the risk. Because your call and your purpose is not done yet.
Congratulations. Congratulations, because whenever you're pushed to a situation like that, you get to choose your perspective, and your perspective was to turn to the God-given talents that you had, and that you've been, when people say I doing this, I realize that we can only give 100% to one thing at a time. So that being said, to be able to hear that you're able to now give 100% into what you're passionate about and what you love, sometimes, I think it's great, because you just, from the time I befriended you on Facebook, and I was in your group. I never forget, you had this group and you were doing this. I'm like, I'm watching you, and you were taking time, and I don't know if it was a workshop or a seminar, but it was amazing. Then to see you evolve, and to see the photography, and to see how passionate you are, and taking time to bring out the content you bring out. I really have no doubt that you are going to really be able to help a lot of women to be able to build that wonderful brand that they're looking to build. One question to you, because I realize that mindset plays a role in everything that we do. That being said, can you take us really quickly to the mindset that brought you up to this point just because more people are being laid off, more jobs are closing. What was that? Just give us a little bit of that. We would appreciate it.
Sure. I think it got to the point that my mind, at first, my mindset was freaking out. I was angry. I was confused. I was lost. Esther is one of my best friends, and I remember calling her. I was mad. I was angry. I was devastated, and it got to the point that I had to sit down and ask myself, why are you so afraid when you're already given the tools that was given to you? And I had to get to the mindset that the time is now. Like, now is the time. When I remember when COVID happened is when I flourished the most. My business grew the most during COVID. I had to think about it, Claire, this is just another COVID moment. That you use what is against you to propel you to your next. Because in the midst of adversity, I feel like when you're in the midst of adversity is when you actually feel the most growth, because you have no choice. You are down at your knees, and all you could do is look up and say, I need help. Come save me. I am going to do no matter what it takes. So I got to that point that I am going to do no matter what it takes, God. If this is what that means, then this is all I have to do. And if it fails, I can't blame no one else but myself.
Love. When you said that, if it fails, nothing in God fails. And that's the phenomenal thing. I'll never forget when I got into business and it's like, oh, so you're taking a risk. And I'm like, no, it's not a risk. A risk is if I was doing it on my own. But whenever you're doing it on God, nothing that God has ever done has ever failed. Nothing. And to know that you are putting 100% into believing, and the gifts and talents that God has for you is what's great about it, because we know without a shadow of doubt, you're going to be successful. So anytime you doubt, then you just have to look at the track record on what you're standing on. And I know I would say it's a scary for the flesh. But as far as who you are born and purpose and designed to be, you're strong and you're going to make this happen. And you encourage all of us, because the only thing that keeps us from being successful is only fear. I mean, really, that's it. And belief. And so for you to take those two factors and to turn them around and to say you're going all in, I think is phenomenal. And we look forward to having you again to continue to encourage us, motivate, and inspire us to keep on. Can you tell people how they can get in contact with you and what platforms you're on?
So you can reach out to me anywhere. I am on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever, but it's under Claire Kreger. If you need help with your social media, marketing, branding, that is my absolute niche. As a professional photographer, I do help businesses manage their social media, help you with visibility, manage your account, all of that. That is my deal. So if you do need that, like I said, I am a professional photographer. I do travel. So if you need me to travel to where you're at to take your photos, I will be more than happy to do that. But you could just go ahead and reach out to me under Claire Kreger, and that's pretty much uniform everywhere you'll find me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming onto the platform. Thank you for the message you shared, and we look forward to inviting you again onto this platform. Again, thank you. You're so welcome. So I want to jump over to our next speaker. I know this is getting good. I know y'all are loving it because I am too. So our next speaker that we're going to bring onto the platform is Keisha Simone. And Keisha Simone is going to be speaking today to us about, let me just get my screen back up here. Give me 1 second. I have this allergy and it's been really tough today, but we are passionate and dedicated. So we have Keisha Simone speaking about running a Christ-centered business while keeping business life balance. Without further ado, I'm going to drop the mic over to you, Keisha Simone. Let's see. Okay, she's still having technical difficulties. So again, we're a global organization, so that means that we have so many speakers all over the world. So depending on where you are in the world and who your provider is, you may have technical difficulties. So we want to say thank you for your understanding ahead of time. That being said, we're going to. Can you hear me, Keisha? Okay, awesome. So that being said, Keisha's still having technical difficulties, but what we're
I
going
can
to
hear
do,
you a bit. You're chipping in and out.
awesome. If you can go ahead and start, we're going to go through the technical difficulties, but let's see if we can hear you. All right.
Hear me?
Yeah, so yes, we can hear you now. Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. Perfect. You bit.
All right, so Keisha, it still looks like we're having technical difficulties trying to hear you. I'm going to try something else with to try to bring you onto the platform. But what I'm going to do is, while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and bring up our next speaker, which is Esther J. Belong. And the topic she is going to be speaking on today is going to be growing a better relationship with your team. Without further ado, we want to drop the mic over to Esther J. Belong. And we cannot, that being said, let me see, do I have you on the platform? Okay, good. I don't know if she stepped away for a moment, but we'll give it just a moment. Thank you. All right, so that being said, give me 1 second. All right. All right, so Deborah, are you ready? Good. Give me one moment. I'm going to try to get these speakers on here. I really appreciate y'all patience. Deborah, awesome. There you go, Deborah. Awesome. So we're going to bring up our next speaker while other speakers are getting ready. And we're going to bring up Deborah Prophet. She's going to speak on how to manifest the 1 in 1 easy step.
Hi, Sunshine. Hi,
Hi, hon. So glad to have you here always.
I'm so sorry, that we're having these technical difficulties tonight. It's just, but hey, we worked through it, right?
There you go, because we thank God for virtual.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I thank you for having me and being a part of your mission.
Yes.
Because it's important what you do, and I just appreciate you, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
Oh, you're so welcome. We're so glad to have you here as well.
Help you do what you do. I am a women's coach. I'm an author and a speaker. I also have written a book. It's called The Breakup Plan: How to Walk Away, A Call Home to Self. And this book was written actually with my daughter and myself, and it's really a book about how to walk away from unhealthy relationships. It speaks to our unlimiting beliefs, speaks to our mindset, speaks to just taking inventory and taking responsibility for our past relationships and where we want to go in our future relationships and what we're really wanting, and getting clarity on what we're really wanting. So it speaks to what to do and how past relationships can actually help us and not hinder us and keep us from moving forward. Because sometimes women tend to let past relationships keep them stuck. They go into maybe bitterness, they go into discouragement, they want to give up on love, they want to give up on men, they want to give up on partners. And so the book speaks to a part of that as well. So without getting too ahead of myself, part of what I do as a coach, I am a certified coach. And like I said, I help wake women up, wake them up to or from their illusions and disillusions and attachments around men and around finding love. And so I titled this How to Manifest the One in One Easy Step. But it's actually, if I can draw a line through easy, it's actually how to manifest the one in one hard step. And I say that because the one step that I want to talk about is getting out of your own way. And that's easier said than done. I know that it is, because what do you mean get out of your own way? And believe it or not, it is just that simple. And this is just across the board in your life, period, whether it's a relationship, or it's a husband, whether it's business, anything that you're desiring and wanting in your life, that the first step is getting out of your own way. And so, first thing I do when I help women is in getting out of their own way is helping women understand and see through wisdom and insight where they're stuck, where they're stuck in their mindset, and help them give them a fresh and a new perspective on their problems, and help them to take responsibility, first of all, for their problems, because the main thing that I help women understand is see that nothing in your life is happening outside of yourself. That the first place we always have to go is within. We always have to look within. That the guy is not our problem. The situation is not our problem. But we always have to go within. And just to give them a fresh perspective, some insight and some wisdom, it really helps to shift that energy and helps them to get unstuck. Because a lot of times we don't realize it, that when we're feeling stuck, most of the time it's just it's a story that we keep telling ourselves over and over again around a specific situation, around a specific relationship that we're having with someone. And so we keep telling ourselves the same story over and over again, or replaying what happened in our mind over and over again, where sometimes just a fresh perspective or a new perspective, or telling yourself a different story around what happened, can get you unstuck and get that energy, free up that energy for more productive way of thinking, for inspiration, for clarity. So, for example, if you dated someone, you just got out of a bad relationship, it is so easy for us, and we're so conditioned to think about the negative. It's so easy. If I could ask you all right now, just off the top of your head, give me 5 things that you want in a relationship. You could probably give me 5 things that you don't want. Real easy, because of what you've gone through in the past and because of what you've experienced before. So, but we don't realize, as we keep telling ourselves those stories over and over and over again, that it keeps us stuck. And so if we could, number one, take responsibility for the relationships that we've had in the past, and number 2, tell ourselves a different story. Well, maybe, maybe he wasn't a jerk, just something different that doesn't feel so bad, doesn't feel so negative. If we could just reach for a thought or a perspective that doesn't feel as bad or doesn't feel as negative, helps to get that energy free. It helps to get us moving into more clarity. The other thing is, as part of getting out of your own way, is learning how to be comfortable with the unknown. Again, easier said than done, because our limiting beliefs, our minds only knows what it knows. And it only knows the past. It doesn't know the future. It can only keep us in fear and thinking about, well, if I take that next step, what I gain to lose. But the mind can't tell us what we stand to gain. It can't tell us, it'll keep us in that safe place of, well, I'm afraid. Well, I don't want to step out from this comfort zone, because it feels better and it's a lot easier and safer just to stay where I am, because this is what I've always known. This is where I'm comfortable. So to be able to get out of your own way, you're going to have to be comfortable with moving in that unknown realm. You know, but a lot of the best things that have ever happened in my life, that have ever happened for me, is when I stepped into the unknown. And I really didn't have a set clarity on where I was going, what that next step was going to be, or what I was stepping into. But I did know I didn't want to be where I was. I knew enough to know I didn't like my life the way that it was. I knew enough to know that there has to be more than this. I knew enough to know that there's something within me that's yearning and desiring for more. There has to be more for me. I can see glimpses and an image of who I am, what I should be doing, what I should be experiencing, but and just maybe like pieces of a puzzle, or you it's almost like you can see something, but it's out of focus, but you know there's something there. And so that was enough for me to at least leave behind what I did know, because I wanted more than what I know. I wanted more of that yearning and that desire that was on the inside of me. And so some of the most amazing things have happened just from taking that step from what I know I don't want. I don't know what's up ahead, but I know I don't want this. So, that's when the doors open. That's when clarity comes. And something, that I've been learning, sometimes you're not clear, but clarity can come to us. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that we're searching for, but a lot of times clarity can come to us, because even when we're wanting and desiring something, whether it be a relationship, whatever, it is, most of the time, and we don't know it's ego. Most of the time. I mean, if someone were to ask me, hey, Deborah, you want $1 million? Well, of course I want $1 million. Or if there's something that, if you wanted money, how much would it be? Well, of course, I'm going to say $1 million. But is that a really desire in my heart, or is that my ego? So when it comes to relationships, a lot of times women, they have their checklists of, what this man is supposed to be, what he's supposed to look like, how much money he's supposed to make. Nothing wrong with any of those things. But a lot of times it is ego. So when we allow ourselves to step out of our own way, get out of our own way, take responsibility for where we are, get comfortable with being with the unknown, then sometimes clarity comes to us. Most of the time. or all the time. Clarity will come to us. It's like, oh, okay, I thought I wanted that, but now it's getting a little more clearer for me that this is what I want, that this is who I am, that this is what's going to make me happy, not what I thought it was going to be. Because we can come from a place of comparing ourselves to other people, what they have, what we want. And I think a lot of us women, if we haven't dealt with that, comparing ourselves to other people who, hold on, it's coming. You definitely will. But allowing clarity to come to us will allow that comparison to diminish. It will give us the anchor that we need to be able to take the next step. So it's not just about thinking that you know what you want all the time, but actually just seeing from a place of purity and a place of what God sees for you. So that's pretty much what I do in a nutshell. I help women get to that place. I help them get that energy. I help them get unstuck from where they are and free that energy up to be able to see more clearly and be able to move in the direction, help them become better versions of themselves. Because once they do become better versions of themselves and take that next step or level up, then they're able to attract the guy that God has for them from the place of being a better version of themselves. And that's where they want to be when they're attracting the man of the dreams or the one, so to speak. So that's pretty much.
I am glad that you spoke about this, because who doesn't want love and who doesn't want to be in a relationship? And we see that in so many different areas, not just in the business world, but also in life in general, where people are looking to have business partners, where people are looking to have husbands, boyfriends. And for you to say, hey, hold on, wait a minute, step back, and let's go ahead and create and find out that best version of you, so you can attract that best version of you when it comes to any of those areas. I think it's phenomenal. And women, a lot of times, we don't think about that, how successful we can be, in our lives and our business, if we would just pause and just pick up the phone and just text Coach Deborah and say, hey, we need another perspective look of ourselves. So if you can tell me, what type of coaching programs do you have available, and how can people get in contact with you?
I actually have a program right now. It's called the Smart and Independent Woman's Guide to Finding Love. And they can just go right on deborahprophet.com to sign up for that. I'm also going to be offering the book for free, so look out for that on social media. Just to give a quick example, if I have time, because someone had reached out for help because she had been friends with a guy for a really long time. And this particular time they went out, and I think they went to a club or something, and I don't remember what it was, and so she said she just all of a sudden fell hard for this guy, just and really wanted, to take their relationship to the next level of And so I asked her, this is where I live. This is where I live when it comes to helping women. We got to go within. We have to go within. And so I asked her, I said, so what happened all of a sudden that this guy was your friend and now you want him to be more than your friend? And she said, well, because we went out and he did this, he treated me well, we were dancing and having a good time. I haven't had this good of a time, and I don't know how long, and so I said, well, could it be that what you're really longing for is that experience and not necessarily the guy. And she thought about it and she said, you know, now I think about it, I haven't been real pleased with my life right now. And I said, bingo. What you're after, the experience, the euphoria, the feeling good. I said, you can summons that into your life at any moment because it's who you are. Love is the essence of who you are. You can't look for it outside of you first. It has to, it's something that you have to connect with within yourself first. And so just that perspective just helped to free her to say, wow, you know what, you're right. And so I said, hey, it sounds like to me that a fulfilling life is more what you're after than it is the next step with your friends. So
a great evaluation, powerful evaluation. So so I love the way that you bring it again back into perspective and before people commit, you know, take another look. So that being said, Deborah, you always bring us the right words to be able to help us to build healthy relationships, not just with others, but with ourselves. And we appreciate that because you actually live that on a regular basis. You know, I remember when seeing you in our in-person event, you and your husband, oh my God, and we had to shut everything down. The love that y'all have for one another in the union is powerful. And even being able to speak to him, he spoke so highly of you every moment. So I just say that because when you go get coached for an area like this, you want someone that you know you can reflect on that really is living that true abundance, love, and relationship. You know, and so I just want to say thank you. I'm so honored to meet you, and we love every moment that you're on this platform. The value you continue to bring.
Thank you.
Awesome. So I know y'all are loving this. I'm not crying. I just have allergies or whatever.
Feel better.
Yeah. So, but again, this has to happen because unless the next thing will happen. So we are so excited about this event, and we're going to bring up our next speaker, and her name is Esther Ballon, and she is going to be speaking today about growing a better relationship with your team.
God bless you all. Thank you so much, Sunshine, for having me on your platform tonight. And I wasn't able to be on camera earlier, much as I was settling the children, but I was hearing so much good nuggets from all the previous speakers. So thank you all for just taking time to share your wisdoms and your truth, because as sisters in the field of kingdompreneurship, as women of God, it's really encouraging to hear different perspectives and just the on time God needed truth. So thank you so much. My name is Esther J. Bellamy. I hail from North Providence, Rhode Island. I am a parent coach, as well as a wife, a mom, an ordained minister, and nurse. So I wear many different hats. I'm so happy to be here tonight. One of my favorite specialty is working with teens, parents, and families, trying to help them build their relationships and make it stronger together. I am an advocate for the season when our teens are when our children are teenagers, because they couldn't put up a good front that they got it figured out when they don't, even if they're the good kids and they're the ones that, you know, have the straight A's and they're doing all the right things, but they still need our guidance. I feel like it's the last step of childhood. And I feel like it's the one that is the most neglected. So my mission is to help each teen and parent have the relationship of their dreams, and it's possible. So I want to talk to you all tonight on tips to help you grow a stronger relationship with your teens. And I will be not only speaking as a parent coach, but also as a mom of a teen. I have two older boys, One is turning 18 in 2 weeks, and one has just turned 16. So I do know firsthand the struggle of being in the trenches and having to practice what I preach. In 2021, I wrote my book, Strong Bond, Bright Future. I have a copy of it right here. It is selling on Amazon still, and it's my first book. And I really believe that God made me write the book to remind me of all the wisdoms that I give to my clients and my parents on social media, and even the teens when I have conversations with them, because he knew that I would need to be reminded of all of the tips and all the wisdoms that I share with my fellow parents along the way. So the first tip that I believe that every parent should put into place if they want to have a stronger relationship with their teen is show up. We can get so caught up with being with, going through life. They're self-sufficient when they're teenagers. We check, did you eat? How was your day? But really taking extra time to dive in, to be nosy and say, hey, what you been up to? How's this friend? I haven't seen him in a long time. I haven't seen her in a long time. Taking time to really know our kids in that realm of their lives, because it's so easy to get caught up with, knowing that they're on a good straight and narrow, especially if you have younger children. They may require more of your attention, but the teens, they're supposed to have it together. I can personally say that I almost made the mistake of dropping the ball. My now almost turning 18-year-old was struggling in school during the pandemic, and we were being as compassionate and understanding as we could, my husband and I. However, he needed, and I was checking with the teachers. I was waking him up, pulling blankets over him, say, come on, you got to get on your, on your Zoom class. But it wasn't enough. He needed me to show up. He needed his dad to show up in a way like, we might have to switch you out to schools. Like, what is the next thing that we can do? We make mistakes along the way. We make errors. We're not perfect, but it was a learning curve for me because he's that type of kid that needs that type of attention. And so that was the way that the Holy Spirit was like, you got to show up way more than you are right now. It's easy to just hope that he gets it figured out, but he needs you to kind of like take over in a sense and help him navigate, because he can't see that, and he's hoping that everything figures itself out, because our teens are still children, right? So they need us more than ever in that stage, especially when they're struggling with schoolwork, or they feel like it seems like they don't want to care, but they really do. The second tip I have is show compassion, because our kids, especially in 2023, our teens are going through storms they don't talk about. They have a lot more going on than even in our generations past when we were teenagers. They have so much different, and I could speak this, I could speak this out loud because, this is a faith-based organization, and I love this. I was hearing all these kingdom women of God speaking of their faith and standing boldly on their faith. So when it comes to values of, what's in the Word of God concerning, even like perversion and what we're dealing with in society, and how we want to keep those God-driven values for our children, right? It's hard when you have the world telling them something completely different. And so they have those storms. They have storms of drugs. I'm a detox nurse, and so there's this new drug on the market called Xylazine. For those who are familiar with, drug overdose, if you have a Narcan kit, you can, put it under your nose, and the Narcan kit will help you not overdose, and that you can get rushed to the hospital and make it. Xylazine won't allow the Narcan to work. So now you have our children, who are exposed to the regular drugs, right? Marijuana is there's dispensaries everywhere. It's at an all-time use, right? An all-time high of usage. And that's called the gateway drug. And you have all these other things that we've always dealt with when it came to, substance abuse and alcohol abuse. And now you have a drug that you won't even be revived with Narcan. Our children are basically being faced with something that would kill them, not just drug abuse, right? Let alone anything concerning, their future and depression and mental illness and so many different things that is so bombarding to them as it was for us, but even in a higher level. So show your team some compassion. Remind them that you can see the struggle. You can see that they're trying. Instill that encouragement, that positive word, those great affirmations to them, and remind them that they're doing a great job. Not just when they're doing something wrong, we bring it up, but we should be positive and encouraging to them. Remind them that it's going to be okay. And the third tip to have a stronger relationship with your teen is show them that you understand. Remind them, take them, especially when they're going through setbacks, especially when they made a mistake. That's the perfect time to sit with them and tell them, hey, I experienced this. Or, I remember when your auntie or your uncle experienced this and how we got through it, but you're going to be okay. Remind them that you've been a teen as well, and that it's okay to bring that level of understanding to them, that you can get down to their level, not remove yourself in terms of who you are as a parent and your authority, but letting them know that I've passed this stage in my life and I get it. I may not know exactly what it feels like to be a teen in 2023, but I do understand what it feels like to be a teen. I experienced it, and you're going to be okay. So remind them that you understand. Remind them that you love them. Remind them that you accept them. Teenagers' love language is acceptance. Show them that you accept them. Show them that you understand, that they may be a little different than you are, but that's all right. That you accept them how they are, quirks and all, and you are there with them, and you're not going to throw them aside. You're not here to compare. You're not here to make them feel like they're not doing a good job or they're not good enough, but that they are fine just the way they are. Because even in this season of transition, even when they want to get mouthy, all of these things that we experience with the frustrations with our teen children, they are still our children. They still need to know that we love them unconditionally, and that can be hard to do. That I know for me, from personal experience, it can be extremely hard to do. I remember even as a teen, my mom would say some wildly crazy stuff to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why would you even talk to me like that? And now I'm there. And I get it, And so we have to continue to show our children, our teen children, that we accept them, we understand, and that we have compassion towards them, and that we are always going to be there for them. And so that's all I have to share with you all. Once again, my name is Esther J. Bellamy. You can reach me. I'm going to put my link on the chat where the comments are, so you guys can connect with me. I am Esther J. Bellamy on all social media platforms. And thank you so much for having me.
I love the topic. I wish I would have got in touch with you whenever I jumped into this teenage world with 13, 16, and 18. I'm like, oh my goodness, what a game changer.
Yeah.
So everything you talked about is definitely what I had to, like you said, connect with and really learn. It's a whole different relationship. And like you said, almost like Steve Harvey, you have to be all up in that business and be able to spend time. And some kids love it, some kids, rebel from it, but that is, that's to continue to help to lead and guide them in the directions that they need to really go while they're still making these difficult choices. I love the fact that you talked about you and your husband, how you made it a joint venture, that y'all were able to really let, your child know that, hey, mom and dad is here for you. And we're not just going to try to solve where you're at, but maybe let's look at, changing it up. Just a quick question. We're going to jump over to our next speaker. What made you actually go that next step? And because most times parents always try to solve problems.
What made me go into the next step?
Next step and say, oh, maybe we need to relocate the school.
Oh, that was something I took into prayer. And I had to really, I took into prayer, but I also had to listen to wise counsel. One of the things I think we, as parents of teens, struggle with, and I see this in my clients, is you feel alone when you're raising your teens. You don't want people to judge you, right? You don't want people to think that you don't have it figured out. So you try to maneuver it, but sometimes you do need to ask your parents, or ask, the godparents, ask friends that have teenagers or that have young adults that were once teenagers. It's good to get a different perspective so that whatever you're feeling, that gut feeling, or whatever you're struggling with, there's someone that can help you understand it better, or bring some language to it, or help you navigate. They could tell you, I made the mistake of not, when I felt that what you're feeling right now, I made the mistake of not executing something different, and so and so had to bounce back from that. And so those are the two things I did. I took it into prayer, and I listened to counsel, because my mother actually was like, Esther, see what you can do to get him to, if he has to reapply to the charter school that he got accepted to, and see if they could take him back in, because that's something I wish I did with your brother. And that was what I needed to hear. So those are the two things that helped me make that decision.
I love it. Remind me of what they said, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
So I love the fact that you reached out to others to see exactly what their interpretation was before you actually made reaction to be able to move forward. I mean, this is phenomenal. I've been trying to get you on the platform for a very long time. But I am very honored to have you on the platform and hear from you, and for you to share, because a lot of women in the organization and network do have teenagers and children that they're, if they're not teenagers, I'm telling you, totally, don't be like me, where they just like, bam, definitely contact Coach Esther, have her help you out to be able to be well prepared for when they become teenagers, and how to be able to build that strong relationship and that communication, and to be able to help you to, definitely be able to connect, like they'll say, in their world. So can you tell people how they can get in touch with you, and then we'll go to our next speaker.
Absolutely. So you can catch me on all social media platforms. I am on Instagram, Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I am on TikTok. Esther J. Bellany. I also have a Socia Tap link. It is Socia, SOCIATAP.com/Esther J. Bellany. I'm actually going to put it on the comments right now. That link it's kind of like a link tree. So it has my link of my boutique if you're looking for some merch to rock, something for your teens as well. My book, Strong Bond Bright Future, which is still on Amazon. A link to a free strategy call with me if you want to connect with me, and as well as my Parent Cheat Codes Bootcamp class, which is $67. They're all right there on the link. So please feel free to reach out to me. You can also find me at Esther J.Bellany@gmail.com. And we will take it from there. Looking forward to connecting with all of you.
Thank you. We appreciate you, and we look forward to having you more on the platform as you continue to help all of us to be able to build that strong connection and relationship with our teenagers, and to be able to help them to soar. Again, thank you.
Thank you so much, Sunshine.
You're so welcome. That being said, I know y'all are loving this. What a jam-packed event. We're still going strong. This is the last night of the 10K Global Women Business Tour. That now this event has went on 3 years straight. And I'm just loving every moment at Women Globally. And when I really say globally, they're all in different states and countries coming onto this platform, just sharing about their business, their passion, and really inspiring you to keep soaring and keep growing. So our next speaker on tonight, we're going to bring up, is going to be Joyce. Let me go here. Give me 1 second. Joyce Miles. She's going to talk about balancing relationship and purpose. Without further ado, I'm going to pass the mic over to Joyce Miles. That being said, your screen is, if you could bring it down where we could see your face, that would be great. Like just, if you're on a laptop, just bring it down. There you go. Bring it down. There you go. Down a little bit more. There you go. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Yes. Let's go. Okay, perfect. I mean, with a face like that, we can't hide it. We got to know the woman behind the business. Okay. We are ready. Okay, awesome. That's going to do, as long as we can see.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got it on this stand, but thank you for having me. So glad to be able to be a part of this and listening. Um, I'm Joyce, of course, marriage and purpose mentor, wife, mother of four, and grandmother, and just, a steward for the kingdom of God. And I have a passion for ministering and helping women, empowering women, equipping women. And I am the founder of Winner Within Her Empowerment, where I help women to embrace the winner within, okay? And with relationships and balancing relationships and their purpose, okay? So I help women to prepare for marriage, who desire marriage. And we know that marriage has to, begin with relationship. And with women, it is so important. And what I want to share and what I share with them, even for myself, is to understand your identity, because there's so many women that don't really know who they are. I always start off, in coaching, and when I first have interaction with women, is asking them who you are. Do you really know who you are? Do you really connect with your identity? Because we know the world will give you an identity if you allow it. Okay, so relationships are so personal, and they're such a a big part of our lives. Okay, and it's so important that we're intentional in our relationships. Okay, and so many women, of course, that we're created from love. We're God's creation, and we desire love. Okay, and love can be a beautiful thing. Okay, but it's a process. It's a journey to really attracting and experiencing real love and going through that process to marriage. So I take them through a journey, okay? And I help them to first go through the process of healing and walking in their identity. Because a lot of them have experienced disappointment, heartache, in relationships. And there's a cycle a lot of times, and they are not very clear on, why they can't find real love, and why is it so difficult? Why is it so hard? They know that they desire it, but they don't really know how to go about it. So I help them to go through the process of healing and identifying, getting very clear on what God says about them. Because when you know who you are, you're not going to be anxious. You're not going to have that desire to chase. You're not going to have that desire to settle in relationships that were never meant for you. And you will have a standard. So we go through the process of healing and walking in our, their kingdom identity and getting clear on who they are. So taking time to pour into themselves, okay? And not being so anxious for the relationship. Take time to develop the relationship within, and to get clear on who you are, to go through the process of loving yourself, go through the process of really embracing who you are. We hear the phrase, looking for love in all the wrong places. You've got to look within. You've got to be firm in who you are and get clear on what you deserve, get clear on what you desire, and set those boundaries. So we go through the process of healing and walking in your identity and getting clear on boundaries that you need to have for yourself and how to prepare for marriage. What does it mean to be a wife? What does God say about marriage? What does God say about you? So it's so important that women understand, that the world may have a standard, but you don't have to, you're not to conform to the standard. And that applies to relationships as well. We pray about a lot of things. I find that a lot of women, they pray for things like career and business, but they don't really pray about the significant other. They don't really pray about their relationships. So it's just taking them through that spiritual journey and really approaching relationships through the lens of being, a daughter of the King, raising that standard, setting a boundary, and knowing that you don't have to be anxious. You don't have to settle. It's about changing your mindset and going through that process, because what God has for you is for you, but you've got to get in position. We've got to do work. We wait a lot, on God. I'm waiting on him, but a lot of times, we have to take action. Okay. We have to be intentional, and we're very capable. He equipped us with, the resources, discernment, and the ability to use our knowledge and our wisdom to go through that process and to break those cycles of unhealthy relationships, and to connect with partners that support us in our purpose, because we all came here with a purpose. And not getting in relationships where that is hindering your purpose, okay? That is hindering your walk, your level of influence that you are called to. So it's so important that you set standards. It's so important that you are very clear with who you are connecting with, so that you can come together and grow together, support each other in the process, and still have a happy, healthy relationship while you still strive and achieve in your purpose. And that balance requires you to have a certain level of communication with your significant other. It requires you to have boundaries within your relationship. It requires you to be very clear on your goals, to set goals, and to make sure that it works for the both of you, and to be consistent in that process in your relationship. So it's all about the relationship with yourself first, and then your relationship with your significant other, and how you're going to bring those two together, and to make sure that you are walking in your calling, that you have that relationship with God, that you have that desire to fulfill the purpose that God has placed before you, that he has placed within you. And, before you say I do, get very clear, because it's a lot that comes along with a relationship. There's a lot that comes along with being a wife and marriage. So I take women through the process of healing, starting with themselves. And then we go to the next step of the significant other, and being very clear on what it means to be a wife, and preparing them for that journey and walking in their purpose. And, there's a lot that goes along with that, but just, that's just a general idea of how I help women.
I love it. I love it. And so many women need that and want that, because they desire companionship. And to be able to take them through that journey of preparing, I think is phenomenal. What got you inspired in doing this? Like, what got you started?
I've always had that passion for, of course, helping women, but I noticed that women would come to me by me being married, will come to me with questions on how do you keep a happy marriage? How do you, and be a mother? I want to know. So it started with them asking questions, and me being in a church at that time, through a ministry, leading a ministry. And then it was kind of birthed from there. And then, of course, when 2020 came, we came out of the buildings, and I came out into the world, out of the church, into the world, to help and minister to women online and, in person.
Wow, that's amazing. Because I think sometimes, as being an entrepreneur woman, it's sometimes hard to balance that relationship and business on top of all the other things that we have to do. For you to be able to help bridge that gap, and to say it's possible to be able to do both things and still have that full relationship going really strong, it's amazing. So everybody needs a Coach Joyce in their life. To be able to continue to not have to feel like you're losing on one end while you're trying to win on the other end. And so, that being said, can you tell people how can they get in contact with you? What courses or programs do you have?
Oh, I have one-to-one coaching. Okay. And you can reach me on Facebook through, I don't know if I can put it in the chat. I may put it in the
Yes,
chat.
most definitely.
Yeah, I may put the link there. And I'm so excited, because I'm literally about to launch my relationship, Real, REAL relationship.
Congratulations.
And I'm excited about that. That's been some years in the making. And so the Real Relationship Academy is going to address the whole woman, to help them to, walk in their identity, to, you know, walk in their purpose, to have balance in their relationship, and just supporting them in their journey, providing tools and resources to show up as that whole woman, you know, of purpose, and also having that relationship that you truly desire. And I'm on TikTok and Instagram under Marriage and Purpose Coach, and I can put the link here if I can figure it out. And yeah, I'll put the link here if you want to reach out, or we could connect in some way. I'll put a link here.
Awesome. Great. We look forward to that. As you can see, please click that link, get in touch with Coach Joyce, and she would be willing to be able to help and assist you. Thank you so much for coming onto the platform and the value that you brought. When I reached out to you, you were like, oh, yes, what's it about and when we're going to get started. So I love your enthusiasm and your passion for what you do. Again, thank you. So without further ado, can you hear me? I think how you walk through. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're now going to share the Keisha Simone. I'm so sorry, she's been having technical difficulties throughout the whole broadcast, but I'm going to bring her onto the screen now. We had to be creative. So in the background, we're doing some creative work to be able to make this happen. Joyce, I don't know if you heard me before you jumped off, but I do want to let you know, thank you. And
I pressed the wrong, I'm sorry, I pressed the wrong button. I didn't mean to get off.
You're fine. No, I did want to say thank you. Much love for what you do. And I look forward to definitely speaking to you, not after a broadcast, but sometime later this week. So let me get ready to bring Keisha Simone onto the platform. If y'all could bear with me just one moment. We're going to try this. Can y'all see Keisha? Let's go. Okay, y'all can. You would not believe this. We're entrepreneurs. Keisha, tell them a little bit about our journey in the background. I'm trying to get.
Listen, it's been real in the background, okay, y'all. Listen, God is real. So we've been having a lot of technical difficulties. We try to get a little bit creative as entrepreneurs and as women, and we decided to do this share screen with Messenger. We tried everything you could think of to get me on. And we're finally here. So praise God for that, right?
Most definitely. So without further ado, because we have waited for you for a very long time. And so your topic on tonight, Keisha Simone, is going to be running a Christ-centered business while keeping business life balance. Wow, this seems like a summary for everything we've talked about today. So definitely take the mic.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Sunshine. I appreciate you. I appreciate all your work in the background, getting me on here. Yes, listen, this has been powerful, ladies. I just want to say that before I go. It's almost hard for me to go now because you guys are just this whole thing has been just amazing. So kudos to all of you lovely ladies. I love that this is a Christ-centered platform that we are on here together, just working for the glory of God. So without further ado, my name is Keisha Simone. I am a certified life coach, business coach, and marketing strategist, and I'm also into ministry. So that's a little bit about me. My major thing is really working on business with women, young adults is my love. That's where my heart is, but grown adults as well. As they're making that transition out of school and trying to figure out what they want to do. A lot of people are coming out. A lot of these teens are coming out and loving business, not knowing what to do, not knowing which way to go, not knowing what next step to take. And I want to be there to help them. Now, the most powerful thing about it is it's not just about business, right? It's about business with Christ, okay? Because I have a strong belief that without him in the background, it's just not going to work. I started out coaching originally just regularly, not as a Christ-centered coach. And God has just been on me, was on me. Like, listen, you're not doing this the right way. It's not that I wasn't getting clients. I was getting all kinds of clients, but the feeling that I was getting inside was not enough. And Christ just kept pushing me. Listen, you need to do this. You're in ministry. You need to do this from my perspective. This is our business. It's not your business, right? When we're doing business, it's not about us. It's about giving the glory to God, right? So we're not really working our own business. We are working a business with God. It's his business, right? So we have to do that properly. Business these days has become so crazy, especially if you are a single mom and you're trying to run a business. Keeping that balance, how do you do that, right? You have to deal with the kids. You might not even be a single mom. You have your whole family at home. You have to deal with your husband. Business is not working well for you. How do you keep your mind together and keep your family together and keep it all together and make it work, right? So the first thing is to have God in the forefront, praying to him, letting him actually lead you. And that's what I spend time doing with my clients, is showing them how to lean on God 1,000%, not even 100%, 1,000%. Sit down, pray, listen, be patient enough to wait for the answers that you need from him to take the next step, right? Because we tend to get excited. We tend to get overwhelmed. We tend to just say, oh my God, I have to do something. I have to do something now. We don't think about the steps that go along with it. We don't think about running to God first and being patient enough to listen to what he has to say to make that next step. Because it's just about, oh my gosh, I need to do something in my business. I need to do it now. I need to do something in my family. I need to do it now, right? But if we lean on God and we go into prayer and we be patient and we listen, he's going to give us all of the answers we need to take the next step. And when you take that next step, it's going to work because you didn't do it on your own. You did it with the help of God, right? So this is what I spend time teaching my clients to do, really just focusing on that. And even in terms of the marketing part of it, going to God. How should I market my business? It sounds very simple. Oh, just throw a couple flyers out, put up a billboard. But what was the strategic way that God wanted you to actually do it? Did you ask him? Or did you just jump and do something on your own? And then you're wondering why it's not working, right? So my whole thing is just creating that balance, and you can't create that life business balance without Christ being the center. If your business is not working, you're miserable with your business. Now you take it home, you take things out on your husband, you take things out on your children. If your house is not put together, you go to your business, you take things out on your employees, you start to take things out on yourself, then comes depression, then comes anxiety, then comes all of these things, right? Now listen, none of us are perfect. I have to say that off rip. None of us are perfect. We've all been through things. And especially as women, sometimes the things that we go through, we feel like, I have all these ideas, but I just can't make it work. It's too much stress. I have too much anxiety. I've been through sexual abuse. I've been through physical abuse. Now it's self-sabotage. We don't know which way to go, but if we put God at the forefront of all of that, if we have him to lean on and him to speak to, he will push us through all of that and we will be able to move forward, right? There's no other way to do it. I'm sorry to say that and actually not sorry to say, there really just is no other way to do it, point blank, period. Because if you try to do it on your own, you're going through all those things. I can tell you, I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. I was abused from the time I was 3 till the time I was 12 by 5 different men, right? I could have came out and I could have just said, you know what? I'm not doing this. I have these ideas, but I can't do it because I'm stressed. I've been through all this stuff. I don't know what to do, but God, right? If I did not have God in my life, I would not be the person I am today. If I did not have God in my life, I would not be the businesswoman that I am today. If I did not have God in my life, I wouldn't be able to speak to you the way I am speaking to you today. It's not even me speaking. This is God using my body as a temple to speak to you, right? So we can do anything we want to do, but we have to create balance. And we have to create that balance by putting God first. Putting God first in our business, asking him to lead us, asking him to guide us, praying and listening, stopping and just really listening. Not waiting just for an audible voice, but he can speak through anything. He can speak through nature. He can speak through other people. He can speak through animals. He can speak through anything. We have to be able to program our minds to be able to hear that, so we know what next step to take. And that's the only way we can really create balance. Because this world makes it such a crazy, especially after COVID. People are doing, especially teens, are doing the craziest things since COVID, right? People are lost. They don't know what to do. They want to do things. They have all these great ideas. COVID came and everybody, all these people couldn't go to work. So now they want to start businesses, right? Okay, now I'm going to start this business. What do I do? I'm already stressed that I have to be home with the children. I'm already stressed that I can't leave the house. I'm already stressed because I can't go anywhere because we're on lockdown. I'm already stressed because now we're sitting in the house with the whole family. Everybody's being loud and everybody else is stressed. What do I do? Right? How do I move forward? The only thing I can do is lean on God, to take me through, to give me a clear mind, to give me the understanding of what I need to do, to tell me if I'm doing the right things, because sometimes we think we're doing the right things and we really aren't, right? We're really not doing it. And then when things start to fall apart or things start to break down, we're wondering why. Why is this happening? Now we're running to God. God, why isn't this working? God, why can't I market my business properly? God, what should I do next? But if we put him at the forefront and we ask him to guide us and pray our way through it, God, show me how to be a strategic marketer so that I can spend more time with my family and not be just spending time all day doing my business. Taking away from my family, right? Show me how to do that, because I don't know how to do it on my own. I need your help, right? So that's what I spend my business. That's what I spend my days doing, just working with people to show them how to just completely lean on God, for their business, for their life, and just making sure that they create that balance, because without that life balance, everything falls apart. Right?
I love it, with that work-life God balance.
Absolutely.
It makes everything complete in your life. And I love that you talked about this. It's amazing what it took to get you on the platform, but we weren't so passionate about, where we're doing here. And really, you could have gave up. You could have got frustrated when you could not connect through all those devices. I mean, you're going back and forth with different things, but you did. You still were humble. You still were patient, and you still wanted to still be able to deliver this message. And I know it did not fall to deaf ears, because we all need that in our lives to be able to continue to balance that and to make sure that we are relying not on us, because with life and all what it brings, it can be overwhelming. So I think, like I said, I feel like you summarized everything because brought to the platform, and to really say, okay, hey, let's step back. Check who you're relying on. Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling frustrated? Are you worrying? Are you having anxiety? Who are you relying on? And when we rely on the right source, which is God, then we are able to almost do anything. I mean, conquer anything that we're faced. What got you passionate about starting this business, and how can people get in contact with you? What programs do you have?
Okay, so what got me really passionate is, I think I always tell people, I think I was just born into business. My dad's had me in phone rooms. We had phone rooms in our basement when I was 10, and he had, they used the ruler to see the numbers and stuff. He had me helping to train there, and just it went on from there. By the time I was 15, I was a key holder in a major store in a mall, and it just kept blossoming from there. So I've always loved business. I don't know what I would do without it. I've always loved helping people in businesses. I've helped many different companies, anywhere from Marciano to Guess to Vogue, to all kinds of stuff. So for me, it's just the love and the passion of business, and just seeing people start even from scratch and being able to help push them through to the end. And then my love for God just came into play with it. And I was like, okay, God, I hear you. I need to do this completely for you. And there came River to Success. The words didn't come from me. They came from God. He said, you're a river of flowing water. There's rivers of flowing water flowing through your belly. You need to go and you need to push that out to the masses. Hence, River to Success.
Wow, powerful, powerful. Yeah, no, I just a lot of y'all already say y'all gonna listen to the replay. I'm gonna listen to the replay. So that is powerful. Rivers to success. And when I think about rivers forever flowing, so powerful.
Absolutely.
I
He's so
just want
creative
to
with it.
say, Keisha, thank you so much. You almost got away, girl. Oh.
Listen, the devil is a liar.
But God, but
Tonight,
God, but God, but again, we never ask for, people like, how did you get in contact? We never ask for the people we connect with. Everything's intentional. I think one of the speakers was speaking about that. So I want to say thank you for the value that you brought to this platform, for speaking. And I don't know if you had a chance to share with people how they can get in contact with you.
Well, absolutely. I did put the information also in the chat. Hopefully you guys can see it because I have been having technical issues with StreamYard. But you can reach me at Rivers, and that's the number 2, Success. businessacademy.com is my website, one of the websites. The other one is River, the number 2, Success at .com.
Okay, I would definitely copy and paste that for you into the comments. I don't want to touch it and bring it.
Awesome.
So I wanted to, before we end the broadcast, I do want to acknowledge some of our virtual vendors like Linda Brevard. She is with Mary Kay, a small business owner. She's helping to build confidence in women through skincare and cosmetic. When a woman feels beautiful, then she looks in the mirror and she can do anything. She takes pride in her customer service with over 10 years of experience, and she loves what Mary Kay has to offer women of God: first, family; second, career. If you want to get in contact with her, you can call her 704-763-0931 or email her at lbrevard50@gmail.com. Our last virtual vendor is Pamela Simmons. She's been a life changer since 2017, and she was overweight, but she put in the work and the time to be able to lose the weight that she had. She was so passionate about weight loss that she was able to be part of life changers, which she actually became her lifestyle. She promotes health and wellness products through Total Life Changes. If you want to get in contact with her, you can call her at 704-965-4245. The name of her business is Get Fit with Pam, and her email is PamelaSimmons@iCloud.com. So I want to say thank you all for coming to the 10K Global Women Business Summit. I would say I never thought we'd arrive here, but that would be a lie. I knew we'd arrive here. So I'm super excited. We were March all the way to July, and we still ended great. This was phenomenal. So if y'all think y'all love this, wait till the next one. That's going to start right after this. I'm super excited. I can't even share it. So that being said, I am your host, Oluwafunke Fulham-Wider, known as Sunshine, CEO and founder of Next Level 2 Women Entrepreneur, where we help women to be able to connect with each other, build their network, grow their business by providing speaking platforms, whether it's in person or virtual, and most of all, by providing them support through our coaching and training network. So I'm going to slow down. If you're not on a coaching and training network and you're a coach or trainer, then please go to our website and just become part of that. This gives us the opportunity to refer customers and clients to you. Who doesn't want a customer or a client? But most of all, it gives opportunity for people to get what they need from you. We also have our book club and also our networking. So please go on to talk to sunshine.info to check that out. It's getting late at night. I just want to say thank you all for coming out to the broadcast. Thank you so much for hanging in there, and definitely being our last speaker on tonight, Keisha, and thank you, Deborah, on the platform, and Joyce. We definitely appreciate you all the speakers that spoke. If you're hearing this, we want to say thank you. All the guests, all the people that are tuning in, thank you, and y'all have a blessed night.